In this video, we're going to be solving some word problems that have to do with percents. In the last video, we looked at percents as a proportion, and in those problems, they were set up to really use this proportion. Although both of these proportions are the same, they're just written a little differently, they do mean the exact same thing. So while we used this one quite a bit last video, I think that as we move into problems that are more application-based, you're going to find yourself referring more to this one. Although remember, they're the same. It's just two different ways of looking at the same proportion. Let's take a look at example 1. Find the final price for a pair of shoes that originally cost $120 if they're on sale for 35% off. From here, we need to decide what the percent, the part, and the whole are for this problem so that we can put it into the proportion. At first glance, I think we can probably see this percent as 35. So one way to set this up is to start with 35 in the percent spot. And then we have to decide what the 120 is representing. Is it a part or is it a whole? $120 is the original cost of the shoes. We are only going to be paying a part of that. So 120 is going to be the whole original price of the shoes, and we are going to be looking for a part. Once we have it set up, we're going to cross multiply. 120 times 35 is 4,200, and 100 times x is 100x. To solve for x, we will divide both sides by 100 to get x by itself, and I get x equals 42. Now, we need to stop and think about this answer. 42 is part of 120. What part is it? Well, it goes with this percent. 35% of 120 is $42. 35% is not the part that we paid. So 42 is not the part that we paid. Those have to correlate with each other. 35% is the part that we saved. So 42 is the part that we saved. Their original price was $120, and we saved $42. If we subtract them, we will find what we paid, which is $78. The part and the percent have to correlate with each other. 35% is the part that we saved. So our x value, 42, is the part in dollars that we saved. We would then have to subtract that from the original price to find what we paid. Now, I will tell you, that's not the only way to do this. Like in most math classes, we can do a lot of problems a lot of different ways. Another way to tackle this is to make your percent and your part correlate with what you're wanting at the end. We want not what we saved, but what we paid. If we save 35%, what percent did we pay? Well, if we saved 35% out of 100, then we paid 100 minus 35, or 65%. We are saving 35%, so we are paying 65%. We could redo this problem with 65 in the percent spot. If we cross multiply here, we would have 7,800 equals 100x. We would solve for x by dividing that 100 so that x is by itself, and we would get 78, which matches our answer that we got over here at the end. The reason that works is because this is the percent that we paid, so it solved for x, which is the part that we paid. No matter which way you do it, before you call this done, we're going to make sure this makes sense. If the shoes were $120 and they're 35% off, does $78 make sense? I think so. If they were 50% off, the shoes would be half price or $60. And we're not getting that good of a sale, so we should be paying more than $60, but obviously less than $120. So I think our answer makes sense. Let's try example 2. You're selling your house for $130,000. The realtor makes 6% commission. That's the amount that you're going to pay the realtor for all their work that they're doing to sell your house. How much did you make on the sale of your house? So out of that $130,000, you've got to pay the realtor, and what's left over is yours. Let's see what we can extract from this question. First up, I see a percent, 6%. So that I'm going to automatically think about putting in the percent spot. 6% is the part that the realtor makes. Now I need to decide, where does $130,000 go? Well, $130,000 is the whole sale price of your house. It's going to be split amongst the part that the realtor gets and the part that you get to keep. But $130,000 is a whole. That's all the money that you're going to collect when you sell your house. Then this is going to be my x. Now let's think about what this is going to solve for us. This 6% has to correlate with this x. 6% is the part that the realtor gets. So this x is going to tell us in money, what part does the realtor get? Now we're going to have to do a little bit more work because we want to know how much you get to keep. You could change this problem around and instead of doing 6%, do the percent that you get to keep. If the realtor is making 6%, then you are going to make 94%. You could set it up like that, just kind of like we did on the last example. That would also be okay. Since I've got it set up like this, I'm going to go ahead and move forward the way that it is. I'm going to cross multiply. That's going to be 780,000. And x times 100 is 100x. Let's divide by our 100 to get x by itself. And we get 7,800. That is the part that the realtor is making. What you get to keep is all the rest. So 130,000 minus the part that you're paying the realtor gives you the part that you get to keep. And there's our answer. Now, if you had done it the other way, you would have done 94% is the part that you're going to keep. And when you do the 94%, this will work out to that same answer of $122,200. Let's try example 3. A laptop is on sale for 28% off. The sale price of the laptop is $389. Find the original price. Again, right off the bat, I'm looking for a percent that's going to help me do this. I also have this 389. So those are the numbers that I'm thinking about. Once we have those, we can go try and set up our proportion. 28 is a percent. And then I need to think about this 389. Is it a part or is it a whole? The original price would be the whole price, A sale, you're only paying part of it. So 389 is going to be a part. It's not the whole price, it's the part that you're paying. So at first glance, you might think, let's put this 389 here, and we are looking for the whole. But let's talk about this setup. Remember, these two have to correlate. This is the part that I am paying. This is not the percent that I am paying. Those don't correlate with each other. This is the percent that I am saving. If this number right here is going to have to be in this problem, I'm going to have to make this correlate with this. 389 is the part that I'm paying. Could we find the percent that we are paying? Well, 100% would be the whole. If we take 100% minus the 28% that we are saving, we are then paying 72%. So this is not going to work. We're going to have to change it so that these parts correlate. If this is the part we are paying, this has to be the percent that we are paying. So let's try this again. I don't want to use 28%. I have to use 72% because that is the percent that we are paying. And 389 is a part that we are paying. Once we have it set up, we're going to cross multiply and then solve for x. We're going to have to round here. We're rounding 2 decimal places. We should be getting $540.28. Now, before we call this good, let's make sure this makes sense. If the original price is $540 and we're paying something less than that because we're getting it on sale, it makes sense that the part that we are paying is $389. Remember, the percent and the part have to correlate. This is the percent we're paying, so this is the part that we are paying.